I got cheated on while I was pregnant. This is when I was pregnant with my first son. And there was a girl that we would always hang out with, and she was around our family and friends a lot. My ex would always be like, oh my God, bring her around. Anytime we had any plans or anything, you should invite her. Make sure that she comes. She's going to be so fun. Like, we love having her around. Yo de pendeja. I was like, oh my God, yeah, let's invite her. One time we went to Raging Waters, and right before we got there, I accidentally bumped into my ex-boyfriend's phone, and I ended up seeing that they were having conversations, my ex and this friend, at like 3 a.m. And I thought it was like super, super random. When I clicked on the messages, all the chats have been deleted except the last one. And it was like little heart eyes. So then our friend, obviously we invited her with us to Raging Waters. I confronted her at Raging Waters and I was like, dude, why are you talking to him at 3 a.m? Like, that's weird. I confronted both of them. And his response was like, no, we're just friends, blah, blah, blah. So then when I confronted her about it, she was like, oh my God, no, it's nothing like that. We were just both bored at 3 a.m. talking, but I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again. I left it at that. I believed them. Like 2 days later, I saw that they were each other's best friends on Snapchat. That's when you had your top 3 besties on Snapchat, but I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, so I ignored it. That was a big mistake, mama. 2-3 months later passed, and that's when I found out I was pregnant. I ended up sharing with my family and friends that I was pregnant. I was about 2 months pregnant at the time, and the girl started to feel guilty, I guess, because she found out that I was pregnant, and she was like, I need to tell you something. She ended up telling me that her and my ex have been talking for months, and well, she made it seem like it was only him. She was saying that he was texting her nonstop, that he wouldn't leave her alone, and she was like, I have all the messages to prove it. Like, I'm gonna send everything to you. So she sent me all the screenshots, and I ended up seeing messages from him basically telling her like that he loved her, that he was in love with her, that she made him feel like so many different types of ways. And there was messages in there talking about like when they were going to meet up. So they had met up a few times. I don't know what happened. You can probably assume what happened between them. To this day, probably what hurt me the most is the fact that he told her that he loved her, and he already knew that I was pregnant for about a month, and he knew that the baby was coming, and he didn't care. He was still telling the girl that he loved her, and that's honestly probably what hurt me the most. So when I saw those messages, I was literally in so much shock. Like, I was in so much pain. I was so sad, especially because I was pregnant, so my hormones were everywhere, and like to find something like that out when you're pregnant is honestly the worst thing ever. So I went to go confront him at work because he was working, and I gave no shit. I literally went to his job. I saw his boss, and I was like, I need this man to come outside now. Yeah, even in the pendejito with his little dumbass face, like, what happened? And I was like, oh, that was up. So I showed him all the messages, and I told him, like, she told me everything. I know that you guys have been hanging out. I know that you told her that you love her. I'm pregnant. What's going on? Like, you need to tell me the truth. Of course, he denied everything. He said that everything was fabricated, that everything was fake, that none of it was true, blah, 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 blah. I was so upset. His boss saw how upset I was, so he literally was like, dude, take the rest of the day off. Go home and deal with whatever you have to deal with. Because I was pregnant, we ended up going to my mom's house to talk because I was nervous that something was going to happen, and I had to figure out a way to calm down because you're not supposed to be that stressed when you're pregnant. This baboso eventually admitted everything to me and told me that it was true, but he actually told me that it was like both-sided, that the girl was also hitting on him, and he had proof. He ended up showing me pictures of her in lingerie. She would send him nudes. She would send him pictures at like 3 a.m. on Snapchat, and he obviously screenshotted everything. So it was both ways. It was both of them. They were both found guilty. And it really sucks because supposedly that girl was our friend. She was a family friend, and that fucking sucks because it's like, dude, she was so close to us. She knew everything. She knew that he was my boyfriend for like almost 2 years, and she gave no fucks. But for sure, the guiltiest one was my ex. He gave no shits. He would often tell the girl that supposedly we were on a break, we weren't together, to confuse her and to get her to like go do stuff with him. So the guiltiest one here is my ex. The saddest part about all of this is after all of that happened, he promised me that he would never do it again, that it was a one-time thing, and I forgave him because I really wanted it to work for our baby that was coming. But it was not the first, and it was not the last time that it happened because he did it another time while I was pregnant. Oh my God, I literally almost forgot to mention that at the time when all of this happened, she was a minor. So after I forgave him, I'm so embarrassed to say I forgave him, the girl distanced herself from us, and I took him back. So the lessons that I learned that I can now share with you guys is to listen to your gut. Your guy's going to be right 99% of the time. And don't try to force a relationship because of your kids. It's not worth putting your kids through all of that. But I have a lot more of these, unfortunately. So if you guys want to hear the tea, let me know.
I found out that my sister was sleeping with my boyfriend of 5 years after coming home from not seeing her for 4 years. I've tried to make this 1,000 times, but it's so hard and lengthy. I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I get hormonal fluctuations which give me BV. This is very important. I take these pills called Sleep Tight suppositories by a company called Sleepy Sis. They take my BV away within 1 day. This is also important to the story. I have always known this about myself, and I always have the pills on standby for when it happens. My sister moves back after being in California for so many years, and she's already known my boyfriend because we flew out there, she's been home, whatever the case is. However, not thinking anything of it. Now we're close, but we're not close to where I'm like, yeah, girl, like I got BB this week. Like it's not that close, but it's close to where like, bitch, I miss you. How you been? Blah, blah, blah. So it's been a year. She's been home. And one day she calls me and she was like, hey, I need you to take me to the clinic. And I'm like, why do you need me to take you to the clinic? And she's like, because I have like a weird fishy smell down there and it just doesn't look right. So I'm like, does it itch? And she was like, no, it's not a yeast infection. Like I looked it up. I think I have BV. So I said, okay, well, let's go to the doctor, whatever. Take her to the doctor. She has BV. Cool. Everything's cleared up. Moving along. A month later, I end up getting BV again. And this time out, like again, I'm not thinking anything of it because I'm known to get BV after my period. But I do know that my pills, the sleep tights, they take away my BV within one night. I just pop them in, go to sleep, my BV is gone. So whatever, I do the same routine. But this is where it gets weird. 2 days, maybe 3 at max after I do this, my sister calls me again to tell me that she's got BV again. Now, mind you, I have PCOS and hormonal fluctuations. I'm used to this happening here and there, but it was just so weird that now my sister, who's never gotten BV, all of a sudden is getting BV. Me and my man of 5 years take a shower together. I watch him wash himself. And, you know, sometimes I help him or whatever the case is, right? And I also take these suppositories. So I know that they work because I am true to them. Like, I've been buying for them for like 4 years now, okay? Small little business. So now when she calls me again, I'm like, okay, well, since we know it's BV, I have these suppositories that you could take. So she was just like, oh my God, yes, I would love that. And she was like, how often do you get BV? Like, why did you just have these on standby? And I'm just like, oh, I get them sometimes because sometimes my hormones fluctuate because I have something called PCOS, whatever. But you could take them. Now, mind you, she already knew I have PCOS. So I was just giving her the rundown on how everything worked. So one day we're at my house, we're hanging out. I'm in the shower. I get out of the shower and I go in the kitchen and it is awkward. I could cut the tension with a knife. They both look like they were talking about something or doing something they shouldn't have been. And they're like, oh, hey, like, you know. But as soon as I seen that, I felt a knot in my stomach. My ears start ringing. I start feeling hot. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, nothing. Instantly knew something was up. But this is my sister and my man of 5 years. Like, couple days later, I ended up getting BV again. This time I thought it was weird because I usually get it after my period, not before. So I'm talking to my mom on the phone and she was like, oh, did you give your sister some pills for BV? And I'm like, yeah, why? And she was like, oh no, she was just telling me that, you know, she keeps getting BV and she has to keep taking these pills and that you give her the pills or whatever. I'm like, yeah, because I also get BV or whatever. So my mom's like, oh, I wonder if that's like something hereditary or whatever, but like I don't get BV. So she was like, I got it one time in college and that was it. Cool. Don't mention to anybody that I have BV at this point, right? Because now something is telling me to just clear it up with this suppository and watch what happens. I'm at home one day. My man ends up coming home like an hour later than he usually does because he had to stay over for overtime or whatever the case was. The very next day, I got BV. I call my sister and I'm just like, hey, like chopping it up with her. Like, you know, I'm like, oh, we should have brunch this weekend, blah, blah. She's like, yeah, blah, blah. I'm like, how those like sleep tight pills I've been giving you? She's like, girl, these are amazing. My BV be gone within 1 day. I was like, when's the last time you got BV? She was like, oh, I got it like yesterday. I think she said yesterday, the day before. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Cool. I'm like, dang, it must be the weather. And she's like, yeah, because I never used to get this. And all of a sudden I'm getting this. So 2 weeks after that, we end up having a barbecue at the house. And my sister running outside behind her kid leaves her phone on the stand, whatever, on the kitchen island. Curiosity, baby. It killed the cat, and apparently hers, because it's rotten. I go through her phone, and why the fuck did she send this man a picture of the suppositories, and she was like, these are the ones that she gave me. I've been taking them. I don't know why I'm still getting BV. And he wrote, I'll find out for you. She replied, you must be giving it to me and getting it from her. The BV is the gift that keeps on giving. Like, 5 years down the drain, I do not talk to my sister no more. They don't talk to each other no more, as far as I know. He was doing his own thing. She moved back to California. And that's how I found out that my sister was sleeping with my man of 5 years.
Story time about how I discovered the guy that I just started dating. Well, was dating. We're not dating anymore. I had to cut ties with him after this situation. After I found out he was dirty. Like, very, very dirty. And it's crazy because we had only been talking for about a month. And we had gone on, I'll probably say like 3 dates prior to this last specific date, to where I decided that it's just going to be over with. Is done. This particular date, I ended up going to his house because we were going to ride in his car, and we were going to go downtown to watch the cars race and all that. And I pulled up to his house, and my tire light came on. So I'm like, oh, hey, can you put air in my tire? And he was like, yeah, I'm about to hop in and we could just go to the gas station down the street from his house. So he gets in the car and we go to the gas station. We went to 2 gas stations. Both the gas stations the air pump thing was out. So I just had drove back to his house. I was kind of annoyed by that, but I'm like, all right, let's just handle it when we come back from downtown. So he ends up getting out of the car first. And I just happened to just look over. I'm looking over like this. And as he's getting out, not only do I see his butt crack, but it's a lot of boo-boo in there. And it's hairy. And I'm like, I know my eyes are not playing tricks on me. Because he kind of like, he's not big. He's like in between small and medium size. So he like a small, medium teddy bear. And I usually date guys who are like kind of fit, who are actively like in the gym like pretty regularly. But this guy, he doesn't really go to the gym like that, but he has a cool personality. Like, he's cool. So he gets out of the car, and I just see, I seen half of his butt crack, but it was a lot of poop like on his butt crack, and there was hair over there. Like, there's a lot of hair in there. So I'm looking, I'm like, I know I'm not tripping. I know my eyes didn't just see this. Like, so I'm like, okay, let me check again. Let me see if I seen what I seen. So I get out of the car and I get inside of his car. And, we driving downtown and stuff like that. So now I'm already thrown off. I'm already turned off. I already don't want to be here. But I just want to make sure I really seen what I seen for real before I like really cut him off for real. So we in his car. We gets downtown. We gets to the parking. And I'm like, all right, I'm about to let him get out the car again. Because at this point, he's driving. I'm in the passenger seat. So I'm slowly gathering up my purse and all that stuff, even though I really didn't have much for real. But I'm just moving extra slow. So I look over and he gets out of the car again. And I'd seen it again. I'm like, oh my gosh. You have like this dude. It was like chunks of boo-boo. Like chunks. And his butt crack. Like, I'm just in disbelief. I'm like, I really did see it. But I'm like, hold on, let me see one more time. I just need to make sure that I seen this. I'm like, this can't be for real. Like, this, I'm really like seeing this right now. I never experienced nothing like this. So we walking downtown. So at this point, again, like, this is all I'm thinking about. So he trying to hold hands and all that stuff. I'm like, no, don't touch me. Like, it's too hot and stuff like that. But in my head, I'm like, you dirty for real. I need to try to make sure, like, I'm really seeing what I'm seeing. Like, you dirty, don't touch me. This is what I'm thinking. So we, long story short, we gets downtown. We ended up missing all the racing because we was trying to find, we was trying to find a gas station to put air in my tire or whatever. So it was cool. We just ended up going to walk by the water. So it was these tables that's near the water, and he was all out of breath and stuff like that, and he just needs to go sit down. So he goes and sits on top of the table. And in my head, I'm like, all right, I know his butt crack showing. I know his butt crack is showing. So I'm about to play around with him a little bit just so I can like see for this last final time. So I'm like, I'm about to go behind you. I'm just making up random stuff. I'm like, I'm about to go up behind you and try to scare you, this, that, and the third. So I goes up behind him, and I'm like creeping up on him from behind and stuff. Of course, he knows that I'm right there because we just playing around. But I'm creeping up behind him, and I look, and I'm like, when I tell y'all, it's boo-boo all in his butt crack. Like, it's everywhere in there. And I know it was on the inside of his shirt because when I first seen it in my car, it was like smeared. Like, it was like smeared like at the top of his butt crack. I'm sorry, y'all. This is like real, like sick and disgusting, I know. But I just had to tell y'all this. Like, it's crazy. So, yeah. So back to the story. I was, when I had creeped up on him, I seen it again. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it was like big chunks of boo-boo. And it was just hairy. It was just everywhere. And I'm like, I'm ready to go. So I'm gonna tell him, because that's just me. Like, I'm gonna keep it transparent with you. I'm gonna tell him, but I didn't want to tell him right then and there because we had really just started hanging out. And I didn't want him to throw me in that water. Like, I don't know you like that. So we gets in the car. After all that, I'm ready to go, like, in my head. Like, he over here trying to talk and laugh and this, that, and the third. I'm ready to go at this point. Like, you dirty. Like, it's over with. Like, I already know from this moment, like, you're never gonna see me again, for real. Like, so we had, after all that, we ended up getting back in the car, going back to his place. I did make sure he put air in my tire, though. So we did find the gas station. He put air in the tire. And then, you know, we had went our separate ways. But this time he had ended up following me there to the gas station. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, I'm about to tell him when I get home. So I ended up, I got home. I called him. And I'm like, hey, I don't know how to really say this, but I seen something 3 times that I didn't like. And I had to make sure that I seen what I seen because, you know, I'm just not about to falsely accuse somebody or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not me. I'm gonna keep it real with you at all times. So he like, what's up? I'm like, so when you got out of the car, I just ended up looking over, and not only did I see your butt crack, but it was a lot of boo-boo in there. And y'all, when I tell you, this man said, his exact words was, that's it? And I'm like, that's it? What you mean, that's it? He like, so that's what was so hard for you to tell me or something? I'm like, you have boo-boo in your butt crack. What you mean? So at this point, my mind really blown because I'm like, you know you dirty. So he like, I still feel like we should move forward, and you know, I still want to get to know you and be with you and this, that, and the third. He said, do you? I said, no, I can't even do it. I'm like, I got a white couch at home. He don't know where I live at, but it's like, after seeing that, I got a white couch at home. Like, you ain't about to sit on my couch, sit on my furniture. And then when you get up, I got shit. I'm sorry, TikTok. I got boo-boo stains all over my couch. Like, no, like, you're dirty. And then he like, it's not that big of a deal. Just basically making it seem like it's just nothing. And I'm like, He like, I'm sorry that you had to see that. I did use the bathroom earlier. And I'm like, what? Like, he's really saying this to me, y'all. Oh, we were on the phone, and I ended up telling him. So he was basically trying to, basically saying like it was nothing wrong with that, like, and I'm like, oh, he was saying that he did end up going to the bathroom earlier, and I'm like, did you not wipe? Like, what's going on? Like, he like, I mean, I did use the bathroom. I did wipe. I'm like, you couldn't have. But he like, I'm not a dirty A ninja. And I'm like, you are though. Like, there's no way. I'm like, so what if you seen me? What if I was like that and we out in public or whatever, just anywhere? He like, I wouldn't even notice. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, there's no way that this man trying to convince me that there's nothing wrong with this. Like, you're dirty, bro. Like, no, this is over with. So he over there huffing and puffing because I'm like, no, this is not gonna work out. And I'm like, I'm just really in disbelief, like, that he's really just know. And then he stays at home with both parents too. So it's like, y'all didn't teach him this when he was younger, like how to wipe his butt. Like, what's going on? And he's 2 years older than me. Like, this is crazy. Like, I just can't believe I went through this, y'all. Like, seriously, like, I ain't gonna cap. It's kind of funny, but it's nasty at the same time, because it's like, I ain't never experienced nothing like this. So I'm like, how you gonna go on a date with somebody that you like, not even just a date, but just in general, but really just the date though, like, so with somebody that you interested in, and this is how you coming? Like, you ain't even, like, I asked him on the phone, I'm like, so your booty wasn't itching? Like, you didn't feel this, because it's like, it was hot. Like, it was hot that day. And he was like, no, I didn't notice. Like, what? I know that you felt that smeared. I know that you felt all of that smearing in your butt. I know it was itching, bro. Now you over here lying. Like, and then while we on the phone, I'm like, go to the bathroom. And I guaranteed you, get you a wet towel with some soap on there and wipe, and you're gonna see all of it come off. And he like, I'm sorry you had to see that, this, that, and the third. Like, and I'm like, the whole time we on the phone, he's still like just chilling with this boo-boo in his butt crack. I'm like, you ain't even taking care of the problem while we on the phone. Like, what's going on? So basically, after all that, I told him, yeah, this not gonna work out. And I also remembered that he was telling me, like, yeah, he was always getting ghosted and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I think this why you getting ghosted. Like, but they not saying nothing. But me personally, like I said, I always keep it real. And I'm gonna tell you, because I'm like, you seem like a cool dude, but like, moving forward, I think this the problem. Like, you gotta take care of your hygiene. Like, you not ugly, like you very handsome, all of that, cool personality and all of that. But it's like, I feel like this was holding you back. You need to take care of that. You too grown. You too grown for all that. And he was just sad that I was like, nah, I don't want to do it no more, and talk to him and all that stuff no more. Like, I ain't doing all that. Like, you too grown. Like, why we even having this conversation right now? Like, come on now, get it together. But yeah, so after I hung up the phone with him, I ain't talked to him since. I just had to come on here and tell y'all this, because I know this was just funny. It was a traumatizing experience, but I also find it funny. As y'all can see, I'm over here laughing about it.
Now that I no longer work at my old job, I want to do a story time on a very famous rapper who tried to ruin my career and ruin my life. I worked at a department store, men's designer specifically, and I was commission based. I was working one day when a man approached me asking for help picking out a jacket for his music video. He was very nice. We ended up picking him a green Bottega jacket, most beautiful jacket I've ever seen. It was about $6,000. He bought it. He left. My coworker came up to me and was like, "Do you know who that is?" I said, "No." They showed me his Instagram, and I ended up following him. He had a lot of followers. I'm like, this is going to be cool. He's shooting a music video on this. I would love to see that. It's great. So he ends up shooting the video. The jacket looked amazing. The video was cool, good song, good energy. Yeah, awesome. Well, not awesome. A week later, I see him walk in with his girlfriend, baby mama now. She was starring in a very big, well-known Disney movie at the time, so she was very popular at this time. Well, they wanted to return the jacket. I had to tell them, no, you cannot do that. It was not fun. We ended up going back and forth over this, and I had to tell him 3 reasons I could not return this jacket. The first reason was it was smelling like cologne, very strong cologne scent. The second reason, it smelled a lot like smoke, and neither of these reasons were good enough for either of them. They were going back and forth. I told him that it's worn. The third reason, it was worn. He looked at me and he said, "You cannot prove that." And I said, "Actually, I can." And I pulled out my phone, pulled out the video, and I said, "This you?" He was speechless. He was speechless, and his girlfriend did not like that. She said, "This is extremely unprofessional. This is something that you do to all of your clients." Like, just very, very livid. And I explained to her, you guys are public figures, very well known. He told me he was shooting a music video. This is a public video posted on YouTube. Yes, I saw it. Yes, I pulled it up because I am commission based. I know it was worn. I cannot take back this jacket. It is a $6,000 jacket. It is against our return policy. I am not able to accept this. I could get in trouble. I'm very sorry. Explained it to her many times, explained it to him. It was just getting very heated. It created a scene. 3 of my coworkers started coming, trying to defend me. It was not going down. It was getting worse and worse. My manager stepped in, helping me, and I actually said, "I'm going to remove myself." I did not feel comfortable anymore. It was not heading into any direction that I wanted to be a part of. So my assistant manager stood there, and I told him, "I'm going to remove myself. If my assistant manager would like to return this, he is absolutely welcome to. I personally cannot take back this return because I can get in trouble. It is a very expensive jacket. It's worn. It smells worn. I can't. I am so sorry, but this is policy." They ended up leaving. My manager said no, he had my back. They went to different departments, tried to return it. It was denied all over the store. They ended up winning. It sucks, but they went to a different location and returned it. It's fine. I expected it to be returned, just not by me. I didn't care because I did not want to get in trouble. I did not want to take the heat for that. It's a big no-no to return designer stuff. I guess that wasn't enough for him because he took to his social media to post the receipt of this jacket, and with the receipt he wrote a very crazy message. With this receipt, it showed my first name, the first initial of my last name, where I worked, the address of where I worked in the department, and in that photo he said my first name, all of that information, and said I was racist and I called him the N-word with a hard R. I did not do this. I had 3 coworkers there, 2 of which were black, my assistant manager, and if I had done this, I would have been immediately fired. I worked a year after that. The store manager ended up apologizing to me for what he put me through. It created a month of harassment. 1 month of his fan base, to his millions of followers, going to social media, to Yelp, to Instagram, to TikTok, calling me racist. They started showing up at the store in groups looking for me. It was very scary. They started calling the phones, and if I answered, I was being cussed at, yelled at, threatened. I had to be walked to my car when I left because like the groups would be kicked out and they'd still be waiting. They found my social media, and it did not die down for a month, and maybe over a month. It was very damaging, and I thought it was insane behavior because you are abusing your platform to try and ruin somebody's life who is just doing their job. I thought that was the craziest, most erratic thing in the entire world. It turns out that they ended up doing this to somebody else. The girlfriend's sister and him, the rapper, ended up going to a nail salon and doing something very similar and calling this lady racist, but she ended up telling her side of the story, and they were called out for it very publicly. I can't get over this because they came in with an AP watch, Disney money, fighting me, wanting to return a jacket. I am just doing my job. I cannot take this jacket back. Like, it's my job, and you're trying to ruin my life and say very damaging, real accusations for what? Over a jacket you ended up winning. Like, why are you trying to ruin my life, my career? Like, that's sick behavior. That is crazy. And I think it's crazy that he has such a big platform to this day that he's able to do that, and that they will probably do this again. Yeah, so that was a fun time in my life. I'm fine. Working in a department store, it was never a dull moment. Yeah.